Hey guys, thank you so much for clicking on today's video. I'm going to be continuing my stories about working as a Walt Disney World cast member. So if you do like this video, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up. And if you do enjoy my videos, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you here. And let's go ahead and get into the video. So I left off telling you a little bit more about the program that I was working for with Disney, working in the Florida park. So one of the craziest stories that I have from working at Disney is I watched a parent legitimately let their child pee on a fast pass machine. Like, it's not that Disney doesn't have bathrooms everywhere. It's not like they could ask me where a restroom was, but no, this adult decided to let their child pee on a fast pass machine. Not that the fast pass machine is like $1,000 machine or anything, but she decided to let him do it. So here's the story. I was working at Stitch's Great Escape, one of the rides that I worked for, and I was standing in front in the position called the greeter position. Now, the greeter position is the person that when you first go to enter the line, they do the measuring to make sure you're the right height. So that was the position I was doing. And if I'm in the position, to my right is the Fast Pass machines for Stitch's Great Escape. Now, if you have ever been to Disney World, you know that Stitch's Great Escape does not need a Fast Pass machine. One, it is a show, not a ride, but it has two chambers that do the same show. And they hold, at this time, I can't remember how many it holds. I think it's like 30-something odd people in one attraction. Another thing is that it's not a very popular ride because it's a show, and it tends to terrify children. And as I believe it's currently not working, they're going to go ahead and put the original ride back to where it was. So, anywho, I'm standing out there greeting people, saying hello, measuring children when needed, explaining what it is. It's not a ride, it's a show. Like, working in this position, that was the most exhausting thing to have to explain. So before I get on with that story, if you don't understand why it's so frustrating, it's because Stitch's Great Escape is a circular room, and inside the circular room, in the center, is this like tube, and there's seats, and it's all circular. And it's got probably about 3 rows at the bottom, 2 rows at the top, and there are restraints that come down. So immediately when people walk into this attraction, since it's circular, they assume it's going to spin. And the person out front, when they asked them what kind of ride is this, told them that it was a show, not a ride, automatically they just flip, because it's a circular room and there are shoulder restraints kind of similar to like a roller coaster. So you automatically have to stop people, it's a show. Well, then, of course, why are there restraints? Well, those do special effects while you're, watching the show. Does it spin? It doesn't spin. It stays stationary the entire time. It doesn't move. It doesn't shake. It doesn't spin. It doesn't go up. It doesn't go down. It's stationary. A lot of people don't believe that you're telling the truth and they want to exit the ride, which you spend a lot of time doing that anyways. So, you sit down and people automatically try to pull the restraint down. Well, the ride automatically lowers it when it begins, or the show automatically lowers it when it begins. So, you spend most of your time people pulling down the restraint, and you're saying, no need to pull down the restraint. It will come down when the show begins. So, after a while, you become a little, just whatever, pull down the restraint the whole entire time you want, blah, blah, blah. So it's a whole story. Stitch shows up in the tube. He's naughty, if you know the story of Stitch. He's naughty. He escapes the tube. There's the 2 cannon guns that are swinging around the whole time, shooting at Stitch, trying to, get him because he's going to escape. So, like I said, beginning of the story, I was standing outside of Stitch's Great Escape, and it's not a very popular ride. It holds many people, so a lot of times the Fast Pass machines weren't up and running because there was no need to have them. They were probably wasting more time and electricity on having them up and running. So this particular night they weren't running. They actually had these like fabric, kind of like a tarp material that goes over them to protect them. So I'm standing out there, and I believe there was a friend over there talking to me, and then I see out of the corner of my eye that there's a grown adult with a child, and this child is peeing on the Fast Pass machine. Now, Disney World has bajillion of bathrooms because there's a bajillion of people at Disney World. No need to have your kid pee on the Fast Pass machine. There was at no time was I too busy for you to approach me and say, excuse me, where's the nearest restroom? And I could have pointed you right at it. And I'm pretty sure everybody in that restroom, if there was a line for that restroom, and they saw that you had a child and it was an emergency, they possibly couldn't hold it, they would have let you cut the line. But nope, this person peeing on a Fast Pass machine. So that's one of the craziest stories, and it's something that me and my friends, we tend to laugh about if we do reminisce on our Disney time. I know a lot of people have really cool celebrity sighting stories, and I'm not one of those people. I did happen to get to see Kevin Federline walk past me, and at that time it was rumored that Britney Spears was in the park as well. So I don't know if they're kind of together, but kind of not. They had their children with them. I didn't get to see Britney, but I did get to see Kevin Federline. One of the biggest celebrity interactions that I had, I didn't even realize I was having until a bunch of people were in the Stitch's Great Escape room with me. So I was in the position, can't remember what it was called at this time, but you're actually in the ride, like I said, getting people seated, getting them to stop pulling down the restraints and just let it happen when the show starts. But I'm standing there in the back just watching the show go. Well, then that show ends. I, direct people to exit, and then the next ride comes in to be loaded. So I bring these people in. It's not a very big group. Like I said, not a very busy ride. And they come in and they take their seats. So I'm like, okay, awesome. Well, everything goes smooth. The ride begins, and I'm standing in the back, leaning up against the wall, something I've seen millions of times, nothing too exciting, scanning the room to make sure if there's anybody that wants to leave. And also there's a bunch of people in there with me, and normally there's just one person. So automatically I thought, okay, I'm getting a bump ticket. And a bump ticket is something that prints from a computer when a person clocks in from either to start their shift or they clock in to come back from break or lunch. And so this bump ticket will tell that person where to go. And then on there, it will tell the person they hand the ticket to where they go next, or if they go home or break or on lunch. So it's just kind of like, it's a ticket that comes and tells you what the rotation is going to be. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to break. And it's like, no. I'm like, what are you guys doing? And why is everybody in here? And they're like, T.I. is in your ride. And I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that was T.I. when I loaded the show. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, awesome. Still, you shouldn't be in here, because Disney, when they're training you, you treat celebrities the same as anybody else. A lot of celebrities don't want a big commotion. A lot of celebrities, when they come to the park, are taken around by somebody in, I don't know exactly what they're called, but they work on Main Street. So somebody would walk around with them and make sure, kind of make sure they're safe, get them into, they can cut lines and stuff like that. They have like back entrances they can go into. But, they still don't want a bunch of people crowding around them. And that's what was happening. But it was just interesting and funny because I didn't realize that I had a celebrity in the show. So, those are really my only celebrity kind of things, I guess, for lack of a better word, interactions, but they weren't really interactive. So let's see, weird positions that you can, or weird shifts that you can pick up at Disney. So cool shifts that you can pick up, and if I am savvy enough in my editing, I'll hopefully add pictures here, but don't quote me on that. I'm not that great at editing yet, but you can pick up holiday party shifts, and that Disney has holiday parties for Halloween and Christmas. And when you do pick up the Halloween shift, you get to do trick-or-treating or even crowd control. But one of the greatest things about working a holiday shift is you get a really cool outfit. So the Halloween costumes, at least when I was working there, I don't know if they've changed, were super cute. You got to wear like a skirt and this really cool apron over your shirt. And you got this little headband that was a bat. And like I said, if I can figure out how to do it, I hope I can. I'll post pictures here. Something that I was able to do the Halloween shifts and do trick-or-treating. I believe I was able to do that twice, so that was super exciting. You go and you hand out candy, and there's like these massive like cauldrons that are just full of candy, like tons of candy. And adults and children can come trick-or-treating. They can dress up in their costumes. This is an extra ticket on top of your original any day entrance ticket to the park. So one of the cool things, the kind of like awkward things you get to do on a Halloween party night is when your shift begins, you're like technically kicking people out of the park in a very nice Disney magical moment type of way. So the party will start at a certain time, and as we come out in our costumes, people can see that we're dressed different, and they're like, oh, well, the park theme totally changes. Like the lighting changes, and you kind of get this like at least at Magic Kingdom where I worked, you kind of get this like spooky like theme music going, which is actually pretty cool and kind of adds to the feel of the Halloween party. But yeah, so you go out and probably about 30 minutes to, and you start letting people know like, oh, are you here? Are you going to be here for the Halloween party? And if so, do you happen to have your Halloween wristband? And people will be like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, well, today the park for regular guests closes at this time, but for the Halloween ticket, it starts at this time, and then there's a Halloween party, and there's trick-or-treat and all this fun stuff, and different type of shows. And like a lot of people will get upset, like they didn't know. I would hope that at least that people that sell the tickets would let people know that there's a party tonight and it starts at this time. I'm sure they probably do that, but people don't pay attention or they forget, because a lot of people say that when people come to Disney, they like throw their brains out the window. Absolutely throw them out the window. Like so much so that there's a 3 o'clock parade at Magic Kingdom. People will, with a serious face, not even joking, come up to cast members and say, excuse me, what time does the 3 o'clock parade start? So people completely, they just throw away their brains. And I don't blame you, because you go from all the stressful regular life to on a vacation that you're spending hundreds of dollars on. So don't blame people at all for kind of like just relaxing so much where you just threw your brain away. So yeah, so you get that awkward interaction, and you're dressed in a different costume, and the music is starting to change, so people are kind of like, what's going on? And a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, your costume is cute, like what's going on, why are you wearing that, what's happening? And so we like gently start pushing people who are not there for the party kind of out of the park. But then, yeah, so then we get to go and we get to hand out candy, and that's super exciting. So I got to do that twice. Unfortunately, I never got to do the Christmas party, which their costumes are super cute. It's definitely themed differently. There's a different, for each of the Christmas and the Halloween parties, there's a different fireworks show. And there's different like stage performances in front of the castle, so they're definitely worth it. You get to do different stuff like that. And I know with one of the performances for Christmas, you get like cocoa and cookies, so that's fun. But yeah, so unfortunately I didn't get to work the Christmas one, but I will hopefully have pictures for those costumes to show you while I was working at Disney. So let's see, anything else interesting about working at Disney? I don't know if I mentioned this in my other video, but if you're a Disney cast member, you can go into the park whenever you want. So when I wasn't working on the program, because I didn't have a whole lot of money, me and my friends, we would constantly be in the park. And when we were constantly in the park, it's like, if we're hungry, let's go to places where we get a discount. And one place that we always loved to go was in the tunnels, and it was the Mouseketeria. And we loved these chicken quesadillas. There was one guy that made the best, and I can't remember his name, but like me and my friend Tiffany, we spent all of our money on chicken quesadillas, and we could have made them ourselves, but I was 20, 21 at that time, and I wasn't going to do that. And I just remember being in training and going into the Mouseketeria for our lunch break, and there were like face characters, people that play Cinderella and Ariel and all these Peter Pan. It was kind of like a Mean Girls cafeteria situation where face characters were over here, the fur characters were over here, the people that like are fully costumed the whole entire time, like Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. They're all sitting at this section of it, and then everybody else is just there, like attractions cast members. It was so funny, like if you think about the Mean Girls movie and like how they had the map of the cafeteria, and, like the cool Asians, the nerdy Asians. It was like the face characters, the fur characters, and everybody else that's a weirdo. So yeah. But yeah, so that is pretty much all the information I have about working at Disney. I don't have anything that's too much fun after that, but like I said, if I'm able to, I'll go ahead and add some some pictures of my time working at Disney. Hopefully you'll enjoy seeing them. Hopefully I can get that in here with my editing skills. But thank you so much for being here and clicking on today's video. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate every single subscriber that I have. Every time I get a notification of a subscriber, I'm just super excited. I would like to build a community here on my YouTube channel where we just interact with each other, we just have a great time, and we just relax. I kind of want to do a get ready with me video next. Not a beauty influencer, don't plan on being a beauty influencer. See, obviously right there, can do it. But yeah, I think that, a get ready with me video, it's always fun to do that, like kind of chit chatty, like I watch them while I get ready. So I think maybe I'll do one of those. Not sure what topic I want to talk about yet. So if you have any interesting topics you'd like me to talk about while I'm doing a get ready with me video, leave them in the comment section down below. Thank you so much once again. Love you and appreciate you, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks.